10 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order. We have Wendy on speakerphone. Can you hear us, Wendy?
Yes.
Okay, and Ken was on, and then he had a contractor that he had to give a quick call to, so he's gonna call back in here in just a minute. But we'll go ahead and get started. Do a roll call. Lee?
Present.
Aaron?
Present.
Wendy?
Present.
And Bob, present. Okay, we'll do public comments if anybody wants to make any comments.
I just want to make a comment.
Okay, go ahead.
So it's pretty simple. I didn't even need to really write a speech about it. Wendy said at the last committee meeting. Okay.
Ken? Okay, I'll put you on speaker. Alright. Yeah, I'll put you on speakerphone here.
So I can claim my time.
Okay, go ahead.
Can I claim my time back?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, sure.
Thank you. Okay, so Wendy said at the last committee meeting last Wednesday that these books that we're talking about, books with sexual explicit materials, would never be in the library. So, but the problem is we got at the very end, I don't know if you guys watched it on the Boundary County Watchman YouTube channel, but if you watch it, you can see at the very end there was that debate on whether it should be upstairs, which in the upstairs section, we have sections that are recommended for all ages, like history and how-to books. Like my kids are homeschoolers, right? And there are some kids that read above grade level. And so what's the point of having these books in the library if Wendy's already saying, and I think you guys agree, if you look at your stats, there's not a desire for these books. And if somebody does come in, that's fine. They can have the books. They can go to the interlibrary loan system. They can go to behind the counter. But to use your exemption as an excuse, it's not an excuse for you guys to get out of jail. It's an insurance plan just in case, since you can't read all the books, just in case a bad book comes in. So there's no point in having these books freely roaming around, because a man or a woman might pick up the book, go sit at a chair and read it and leave it there. Or, I mean, I've got kids that sometimes I have to tell them, hey, don't take that book and leave it here. This is inappropriate. Go take it back to its place. Because I used to be in retail management. I used to get nutty over people that would not put things back where they belong. And so I'm just saying, what is the point of them freely roaming around the library? Nobody's banning books. The books can still be available. But to have them freely roaming around, if you take federal funding, you're breaking the Age Discrimination Act of 1975. The only reason it's never been judged on the shelves is because it never went to court. The computers already went to court. The computers already deemed you need to have filters if you want any kind of federal funding. So why can't we do that for the shelves? And it takes a village, or in our case, it takes a community to raise children. And I get I have to parent my own children, but why all of a sudden do we get to have inappropriate books in the library and I don't feel safe because some of these books don't have names that are inappropriate, like Identical or Fun Home. Those are not inappropriate books, and until I open it up or my child opens it up, I'm not going to know what it is. So I'm just begging you guys to not allow these books to freely roam around the library. Nobody's banning books. This is not about book banning. This is about saying, should they be roaming around just like cigarettes or guns? That's all I'm saying. Just can we control them? That's all I'm asking. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. We'll do approval of the agenda. Have I got the right dates for the meetings here that we're reviewing here? Is there one for September the 8th too or not?
Do you have,
I think I do.
sorry, I have certain paperwork here. September 8th, yeah, and that was one that we had from Kimber that's in all of our emails. So I didn't print that one out.
Okay, so.
It was just a straightforward one.
Okay, so maybe I need to print that out maybe for the next meeting, just so we review it. Unless everybody's reviewed it, I don't remember it offhand now.
Yeah, and there's nothing. I mean, it is bare bones, but we can wait and
right, let's start with,
And I don't have the sixth. I didn't
okay,
do the
so
sixth.
we did the sixth.
Alright,
And he emailed that to us earlier. Basically, that was the meeting where we went into an executive session, on that, releasing the, independent investigation report. And so, and the action there was, we did go ahead and do that. So I didn't have any corrections to that.
no, that looks good.
Okay, then the next, date, I've got October 19th. That was basically just our training with,
Right.
Interim.
Yep.
And that looks good to me. Does that look good to you, Lee?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And 26th was, our meeting where we, got together and appointed, folks to the collection committee, to review the collection policy.
Correct.
And do we need the names of the actual people on that, on minutes?
I can put the names on, I have the names. The thing is, when we did the meeting, we changed it to committee member selection. So, if you want clarity, we can certainly, I have those names, but if they would be different now.
Okay.
Yeah, well, and that was, when I made the minutes, I just put in it that you presented a list of community members to be appointed to a committee. We could amend it with that list of community members, but in hindsight, it's now moot because of
It's changed some, yeah.
the one on the 7th here.
Well, I have them. I
All
can
right,
just,
why
if
don't
you
we do that?
email it to me,
We'll put-
I will put it on there and then we'll have
Okay.
it, we'll have the names on there and then
Yeah,
we can change it for the.
okay, let's do that then.
It's been shared at
Okay,
the library, so she can share it back across everybody.
Okay.
We have to do the two-step shuffle. I can't direct share it with you, so.
Okay.
I have already shared it with the library and then we'll
this
share
is
it with the rest of these.
the 7th here.
Yeah, the 7th. I just noticed I do have, those are yours. I do have, in the heading, I have a fat finger capitalization.
Oh, under county?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we
We
probably.
can, that's no problem, yeah, okay. And so I don't see any issues there, that's just where we basically gave the committee, the, policy committee, the latitude on, adjusting the board members. Okay, that looks good to me. And that was the 7th, and then, what other one did we have here?
Lee's on the 6th.
6th, yeah.
Yeah. And on your list here is not the 26th, but we also have the 26th in front of us.
Okay. And do I have that one?
That was the original one there, but you guys are talking about amending that one anyway.
Right. And I
Oh,
can
okay,
just add
yeah,
the names.
yeah,
now.
right, okay, that one, okay, yep, okay. Sounds good. Does that cover them all then?
I believe so.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve the minutes with the addition of the list on the committee members on that one, the meeting that pertained to that.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve minutes from September 8th, October 6th, October 19th, October 20th, and November 7th as presented, and approve the minutes from October 26th with the amendment of adding these listed names.
Okay, do we have a second?
I would second that.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded on the approval of the minutes, all in favor, aye, say aye.
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 Aye, okay. And now we have the review of the invoices. That should be in your packet there. We start, it'd be this accounts payable approval details, which starts with janitorial expense. And then the breakdown on the Chase card services on the page behind it there, on the,
Okay.
okay, and then, professional fees, $5,000, that was basically, Leonard Schulte's, audit for last year.
Okay.
And, let's see. And then janitorial expense, insurance expense. So, and then, professional fees, for Wilson's Law Firm. I've got the detail on that, if you wanna look at any of that. But it, freedom of information work, discussion with, investigation, report that we worked on, and then there was some, conference calls with ICRIP, on, different items that we had ongoing there.
Okay.
So, so we have a motion for the approval of the total of the accounts payable of $10,751.28.
I would make a motion to approve the accounts payable for $10,751.28.
I second it.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor of the accounts payable approval, for the amount of $10,751.28, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion is carried. And on to the next item. Okay, September's financial statement. Got a copy of that from Leonard in front of you there. I just got that yesterday. I don't think we have time, probably have enough time to review it, but we're just 1 month in, basically roughly 8% of the way through the year, and we're at 5% or 6% overall on our expenses, which most of that is just the fact that we don't have full staff at the library's director and just the 3 current employees.
Right.
And,
Okay.
so, I don't know if there's any further comment on any of that? Or,
Looks fine to me.
do you see what we're looking at there, Lee, or
Yep.
if you have any?
I don't.
Okay. Okay, so that all looks in line, so we'll go on to our update for interim director and director.
I've been slacking, guys, and I apologize. I'm gonna head down today and go hang out with the girls at the library and see what I can do towards getting that thing
Okay,
posted.
so where are we gonna post that?
And that's, you know, we'll post it locally, obviously, for the interim director.
Right?
But, you know, I wanna talk with them and find out if we had any sort of recruiting program that we've used before, so we can get it out to a wider audience, so.
Okay. And then on the director, what avenues are we looking at there? Are you getting either the Idaho Conservation, or the Commission of Libraries?
Yeah, and I put a call into their just like open line, and that wasn't, you know, I didn't get anybody to answer there, so do you have a contact, the people that we've actually talked to
Mhm.
at the commission libraries?
Yeah.
Can you give me that contact number?
Sure.
And
Sure.
I'll work on that this afternoon also.
Okay,
I don't wanna get Sandy involved. If she's willing, you know, I'm sure she's got some good resources, so
Yeah.
I'll give her a call as well.
Ken or Wendy, can you think of other avenues we should be looking at there on that advertisement?
I was just thinking about the state people. Yeah, the Department of Labor, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what, I just have to go down and sit down and do all these things.
Okay,
It's not something I'm capable of doing from my house.
yeah, I'm just trying to think of, any others that we might need, and we wanna cast a wide net as we can.
Would it be worthwhile to talk like to the University of Idaho or some, you know, college for, if we're at some point looking for a, you know, a director with.
Well, fall's a weird time to be catching new grads.
It is, but, yeah, that's true, it is.
And
They're not gonna be.
and that's part of it. So one question I have for everybody is, when do we wanna close this? Do we wait till our first fish bites and then close it a month afterwards? Do we leave it open? Cause you know, I was talking to Bob and, you know, we're about to be into the holiday season full on, and not a lot of people are looking to move careers during the holiday season. We're pretty desperate for at least an interim director, but, you know, we don't wanna be hasty about a long-term director. So, do we even close that before the end of January? Till it's had time for, the holiday season has had time to process.
Well, and the opening and closing things is, but then if you give people too long, then they take forever to get information to you. I don't know, it's kind of a.
Well, and if we get a good candidate, but we still got it open for a month, we don't want them to sit and twist in the wind for
Right.
a whole month. Sorry, we can't hire you yet, I know you're waiting on this confirmation, but you gotta leave it open for a month.
What's your thoughts, Ken?
Well, you definitely have to get, you know, you have enough time for the, you know, candidates that basically that are interested to apply. Once you get, you know, a few, you could wind up, I'm pretty sure that you can, close it out at a certain time, you just have to post it. So you don't have to keep on going. Now, when it comes to the end of the year, so to speak, you probably want to close it at the end of the year, so where you can start new on the 2023.
Oh, so close it out as of the first of the year, and then if we don't have anybody, then start it over again? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
That may be also a question that Summer can sit there and provide some input on that.
Is she still working for the Department of Labor?
I don't know, but she would know. She'd be somebody to contact to find out.
Just go hit her up for some free info.
Pardon me?
We'll just go hit her up for some free info.
Could be. She worked in that department for a long time.
Alright.
Okay, thanks, Ken. Wendy, do you got any thoughts on that?
I think that we should, what Ken said, close it and then reopen it. Because then it looks like you've had somebody, but, you know, things didn't work out, so you're just trying again. So I think that if we just leave it open through the first of the year, or through January, and then close it and then reopen it.
So would we advertise for the interim director until the end of January and then open the permanent director? director?
Well, I think we could do both
At the
same
same time?
time. I mean, if we get a director, we wouldn't need an interim director. I mean, if we,
I think the interim director is one where we close it as soon as we get a warm body to fill that seat, but.
okay.
And who are they, to send their application to Bob?
I'm gonna have him send it to the Boundary County Library at gmail.com address. Cause then Lynn can grab those and send them across to the rest of us. Because I can't share things directly with any of you guys. We have to use this intermediary, so that's where I'm having everything sent to them, and she'll send it across to us, and then, we'll do that stuff from there.
Okay.
Or emailed, or snail mail to the library directly.
Okay.
So what's our thoughts on their deadline then? Do you wanna go with the end of the year? And then if we don't have a qualified candidate by then, reopen it, or you wanna give more time than that?
I would say the second week of January.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That gives them basically 2 months to get their application in and for us to look through it.
Okay.
So that makes reasonable sense to me.
Okay, Ken?
Yeah, to me, that's reasonable.
Ooh, Friday, January 13th.
You know, how many applicants that have applied.
Okay.
Close of business January 13th, that's the second Friday in January. And that will give us a whole week to figure out what we've got going on before the meeting on the 19th, which would be the following week.
That's good, because then we can sit there and if we have to make any decisions, that gives us time to make those decisions.
Okay. And we're gonna use that date for both interim and, director, or I guess we'll get an interim director at any point we close it up.
Yeah, that's what I think for that, but as far as the director position, we'll leave it open until the 13th.
Okay. Okay, so we have a consensus on that. All in favor of, or so we wanna make a motion on that then, or?
I guess I would make a motion that we close advertisement for the director's job on 13 January and of next year, 2023.
Okay, and a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, motion's been
Is
made.
that for director or the interim director?
Just director.
So you leave the interim director just open?
Keep that a separate topic.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion made, and did you second it, Ken?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so all in favor of using the January 13th date for the director's application, all in favor say aye.
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 Okay, it's unanimous, we'll use that date.
Okay.
And then on the, interim director, what's your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think we just leave it, I think we can close it as soon as we get
As soon as we get
a
it.
viable candidate.
Okay. How's that sound to you, Ken?
Sounds good, because we're gonna wind up having an interview with them anyway.
Right. And, sound okay to you, Wendy?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go ahead and plan on that then. Okay, our next agenda item is an update from the policy committee. Turn that over to Lee.
So we had our, I guess it would be our second meeting on the 9th, I believe. Is it the 9th? Okay, on the 9th. We had a lot less attendance than was expected, so the next meeting is set up to be here at the Armory, just because it was $145 to rent the room over there for the fairgrounds. So,
Oh, you guys went,
we went to the fairgrounds thinking there would be quite a few folks, and there were probably 30-ish, I would imagine, folks there for that meeting. I expected to get further than we did, so we are to item 20 on the paragraph list so far. I've sent out the new updated, or the draft policy we came up with to the group already. We're planning a meeting on the 7th of December here. I think it was a pretty effective meeting. There was a lot of input from the committee. There was a few things that are probably gonna have to be different next time, but all in all, I think it moved us forward. I don't know, when I put together the agenda for the next meeting, I said that one of the action items is to pass a policy to the board. And I don't really expect to get there, but according to the training, if it's not on the list, it can't be discussed. So I put it there as kind of a placeholder, assuming that it would be tabled at the end of the meeting. And I think, considering how busy people are, it would probably be, if we don't get it pretty completed on the 7th meeting, we'll probably have to go to January. So this is not happening at the pace I expected, which is pretty common for this kind of thing. I think there was a lot of good comments, a lot of good discussion. I think the issues are coming out and people are seeing what the policy looks like and why it looks the way it does. And I don't know, I would consider it a pretty successful meeting. What did you think, Wendy?
Yes, I would agree with you. They were pretty open with their remarks, and there was some disagreement, but they settled it, I thought, very well. And I thought it was a successful meeting. I don't know how far we'll get with the next one, but we can see. But a lot of the people left before the meeting was over, which I thought was interesting. But I thought it was fun because they're not used to having that kind of a meeting, so I thought it went quite well.
One was basically 2 hours of discussing policy, which is probably about all a person can take. So.
An hour and 45 minutes longer than that.
Right. So, at least the concerns are out in the open and people are being very public about their issues, which I think is success for us.
So on those first 20 items, or they went through, or the numbers, you've got a kind of a consensus on that? Or as far as?
I would be cautious saying consensus. What kind of happens is people discuss items and then we end up with a final result. And what I've done is I've sent out that final result to the group, and I expect to get a few comments about this, like I really didn't mean that, or it should look more like this. I expect a few of those comments to come up. I think by and large people see the questions, and the answers are going to depend on what people value.
Once I guess you get to the point where you got a section somewhat completed, maybe you can copy the other board members just so they can kind of see what the progress is there and have a chance for review it also.
Yep, that was my intent. As soon as we get, hopefully there's pretty much agreement on the items we've covered so far. And once that gets done, I would send out those first 20 paragraphs. Okay. And people can get a look at it.
this is not something to rush, in my mind, you know, this is something to get right and hear everybody out on and, you know, show us we're going along, but let's not be hasty. We were hasty last time and it definitely
Right.
blew up in our faces, so.
That was definitely a mistake on my part to do it that way, and I think this will be more successful. Honestly, I don't know, as far as ICRIM's concerns, I don't believe they have a lot of concerns about how this particular policy ends up. They just wanna make sure that our process is clean, which, you know, it's frustratingly slow, but as best as Wendy and I can make it, I think it's being pretty clean for a process.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, Wendy, or?
No, I was just concerned that we had a deadline, you know, and they extended it 2 months. Well, are they gonna hold us to that?
What I got from that meeting was that they wanted to see progress. And I think, you know, everything we've done so far is showing that progress.
I did talk to Jim McNall, here just a couple days ago, Wendy, in regards to that, and he, indicated to me that, from his perspective, that things were, you know, what the board was doing, he was comfortable with us, and he told me if there was something that we needed to address, he'd get back to us. So, and I haven't heard anything from him, but I'll check in with him again here in a week or so and just make sure we're on track.
Okay. Cause I don't want the rug pulled out from under us, you know, to come the end of December.
Oh, no, you bet.
Yeah, what is the story on that? Are we gonna hear from them again? Are they gonna?
Well, they have another, meeting in December, and I did call the executive, Tim Osborne too, just to, if he had any concerns to let us know, and that was a week ago and I haven't heard anything back from him, but I know Jim been in contact with him, so.
Are we gonna be up for full reinstatement or continuing to be on an interim basis, or what's the story?
Well, I guess that'll be up to what they decide.
Right.
You know.
But we'll be on the agenda either way.
Yeah, yeah.
Are they asking for us to show up again, or do they?
No.
Okay.
No, I think they're, as long as we're working through their representatives, I think that's all they're interested in right now. Okay, that was the last agenda item, unless you had anything else on the policy committee.
That was all I had.
Okay. So, I guess, I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Sure.
I'd second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, cause I would.
I've got some,
No, we don't.
checks here we need to sign.
Okay.